My name is John Swenning. I'm the program manager for Reedley Peace Building Initiative, or RPBI for short, here in Reedley. It is our restorative justice program that we have. It's a community-wide program that involves West Coast Mennonite Central Committee, Reedley Police Department, Kings Canyon Unified School District, Reedley Peace Center, Rotary International, and City of Reedley as a whole. And it is a community-wide organization where folks involved in different businesses and organizations and churches get involved with the juveniles, offenders, and the victims of their crimes, and where we come together and try and work through the issues at hand, the crimes that have happened, and come to a resolution of agreement where both sides understand what each other has done and or been through, and come to agreement to make things right and not do whatever that crime would be, not to proceed and continue doing those crimes, but also getting those juvenile offenders involved in the community as a whole, as a support. RPBI is all about building relationships, and building relationships, you need some key elements that have to come forth, not only out of the offender and the victim, but also out of the members of the community that are involved in that, whether it be a business owner or a church or the school or the police department, police officers. So it starts, number one, with communication. And if there isn't any communication, obviously the conflict, issue, crime, whatever it is never going to get resolved. And oftentimes when there's no communication, what happens is, and you have the hook 'em and book 'em kind of philosophy. No communication. The easiest way to handle situations like that is hook 'em and book 'em and send them off to jail and or court and let somebody else deal with it. And there you see in our criminal justice system where things really get bogged down. A lot of people go into jail, and a lot less people are available to handle jail. A lot less people are there to handle those situations. Obviously, a lot less room, jail cells, courtrooms. It's not big enough. There's not enough resources to cover that. Also, there's not enough money to cover all that. So what restorative justice, through our RPBI program, what we're trying to do is offer another opportunity to work alongside with the criminal justice system. So what we do in Reedley, as opposed to arresting an offender and sending him to jail and through the court system, we like to take care of that issue and crime and bring that offender back into our own community without having to send them off into the criminal justice system. Obviously, this isn't for all of the offenders. This is for first, second time offenders, those juveniles that are on the fence, can go one way or another, that either a teacher or an officer or a parent or somebody in the community really believes in this kid, and this kid has a chance if he's allowed to go through a restorative justice process. Those definitely the kids that we like to work with. Those are the kids that we want to support and bring into our community and let them know that there are a lot of people out there that care for them. So in order to find kids like that, there has to be communication. And we start this whole process with communication. Kid does something wrong, we ask him, why'd you do this? You know, what's going on in your life that would drive you or make you do this? So then the kid, and the next part of that is being accountable for your actions, or being accountable for those criminal actions, or being accountable for your job or your duty as a teacher or as a police officer, as a community member. And to be accountable, you have to be honest. So you got to be honest with yourself as why you did that, or why are you here in this position that you are, and how can I help this person, or how can I help myself? Why did I do this crime? I want to tell this person why I did it, because I think this might be an opportunity for me to change my life. Now, the offender might not necessarily go through that thought process that quick, but that's eventually where we want to get them to. So communication, being honest with ourselves and each other, and then being willing to work together towards some sort of relationship where you can start to change and make things right. So that's the building relationship part of that. I've been through a lot of things in my life. Really, in a courtroom, I've been pretty much in every seat that you can be at. And without going into a lot of detail, I just have a lot of experience in the courtroom other than my 15 years of law enforcement. My 15 years of law enforcement involve patrol, detectives, investigations at the district attorney's office in Fresno County, where I spent most of my law enforcement career. So in that role as a senior investigator, I truly saw a system from start to finish. And I hate to say and hate to use the word because it's overused, a broken system, but it's definitely an overburdened system. And there's a lot of great people working and serving our communities in our criminal justice system. And it's a difficult place to work. And you see a lot of bad things, you see a lot of bad people. But more than that, you see more people that are begging for help, for a chance. And in my career, that's one of the things that I saw, not just with the offenders, but with the victims. Definitely, the victims wanted to have their say. They wanted to get not even their time in court, they just wanted to be heard and felt like they're a part of this process and not forgotten, and or not put on the stand and felt like they were the one being prosecuted, which often happens. So restorative justice offers that opportunity. So that's definitely one reason why I'm so passionate about this other way of dealing with our crime and our offenders is through restorative justice, not just throwing them in jail. So I've seen that from the criminal side. I also have a passion for working with kids. I always have. I love working with kids, and any chance that I myself or other people that I could bring into a kid's life or a group of kids or whatever's life, I want to be a part of that. And I think that's obviously, we all realize that kids, it's where we're learning everything. And if we can get to these kids that are on the edge, or walking that fence, that are having issues wherever, family, home, school, on the streets, then let's get somebody in their life that cares about them and that can mentor them into a good direction where they're members of a community that are willing and wanting to help others and be there for others. And then that, which leads me into the other thing, is I'm just a huge believer in doing things for others. And it's not all about me. And I think we all go through our stages in life. Some of us never get out of it, where everything's about us. And in order to do a good job at whatever you're doing, when you're serving the community, whatever job of service that you're doing, if you're only thinking about yourself, you're never going to do that service. So restorative justice through RPBI, it really almost kind of forces you to look outside of yourself and think about others and think about that other person. How can I help them? How can I better affect their lives? And so it takes you out of that comfort zone where we all like to stay, and it makes you go face to face with somebody that you wouldn't normally talk to, or go, want to deal with their problems or want to share with them. So it's definitely about, it's about helping other people, without a doubt. And RPBI and Restorative Justice and VORP through CJC, through other different programs that are very similar, one of the greatest things about it is it allows an opportunity for people, for us to tell our stories. So you give somebody a chance to actually be heard, and where there's that active listening, and the offender is telling a story about why he or she is at the place where they are in life that's going to cause them or lead them into committing crimes. When have they ever had the opportunity to tell that story? Probably never. So this could be the first opportunity. That could be a life changer for the victims as well. It gives them an opportunity to share their story, what they were doing that day, what they lost out on, how it affected them emotionally, physically, financially, how it affected their family, their kids, whatever it may be, their property. It's just one of those and through a mediation, it is a magical moment. It really is. And until you've done that and been involved in that process, it's not hard to understand, but you have to allow yourself to understand that it is possible to restore a broken relationship. It is very possible where there's been conflict going on for weeks or months or years. It is possible to restore and end that conflict into a good, at least working relationship, oftentimes a friendly relationship. It gives people opportunities to tell their story. And in that, and lastly, it's all about, RPBI is all about providing us to feel better about ourselves. It allows us opportunities to help people. It allows us opportunities to give back of what we've taken from somebody. So in that, it doesn't matter who you are, what nationality, what male, female, what race, what religion, anything. It all comes down to the human dignity aspect. We want to treat everybody the same. And that may be a far reach out there, but really it's a very simple thing. That once you get around that table, and that mediation table, it gives you a great opportunity to speak to that other person as the same type of person that you are. And RPBI offers that opportunity every time through mediation, and it is magical. So why not use a restorative justice program like RPBI alongside of our criminal justice system? RPBI, we have proved that it saves time, it saves money, definitely, and it saves lives. We have stories and stories of lives that have been changed. There are stories and stories throughout the years of VORP and restorative justice where relationships have been restored, of course, but lives literally have been saved. And God, why not offer that opportunity along, with our criminal justice system? I believe, as being a part of that system, when I was in law enforcement, man, I would appreciate the opportunity to have communities and have other organizations coming together and helping me do my job with some of the lower level cases. Oh, absolutely. It would. Just what a burden it would remove from our criminal justice system.